Hello and welcome to the Studio Nora Podcast. I'm so happy you're here. If you're new here, my name is Nora and I no longer live in Amsterdam with my husband and our child because we moved just outside of the city. On this podcast or video podcast, I've been known to talk about knitting and sewing and all things yarny, crafty related. I haven't been doing a lot of that recently because we just moved house and young child, etc., renovations. But I thought it was high time that I just start doing this thing again. Because I love having you at home enjoying my content and my podcast. It's also really nice for me to do something that's just for me and nothing related to being a mum or being a teacher, but just something that is just for me. So thank you for being here and witnessing that I'm doing something just for me. If you've been here before, you know that there is always a lot of chaos that has not lessened. And you might notice that we are in my new studio. I had lofty goals of filming the whole setup of my studio and the organization part of it and stuff, because I really like watching other people organize their room. But not as it turns out, because I already knew this, but I get overwhelmed by too much stuff, and it just so happens that I have a lot of stuff. A lot. We moved to a house that is twice as big, and somehow we still filled it up, no problem. So yeah, but my darling husband and even my son, they did a big cleanup of my space, and now I can use it again, which is really nice. Yeah, so today, what are we going to do today? I want to talk you through all the stuff that I've done. The last episode, several months ago, I'm just going to look up how many months ago it was. 5 months ago. In between then and now, a lot has happened. We moved. You might be able to hear my son downstairs, probably crying. It's not even crying, I think. Not sure what it is, but it's my husband's day, so not up to me. But just so you know that you might hear some noise. I was saying, yes, 5 months. A lot has happened. We moved. The holidays, work, just stuff in general. And I thought that I didn't really knit or sew anything, but that's not true. Because I did. You might know that I'm a very big fan of Studio Solas, of who I buy. Oh, I see that there's there's a hole for me. I'll fix it. I'll fix it now before it breaks. My first projects. So Studio Solas, I always get her advent calendar because she is a great dyer and a lovely person, and I love me some advents. So I got her advent for the third year, I think. Third. Again. And this time I thought I want to use all of the colors in a project. And Laura Penrose from Penrose Knits, she came out with a sweet shop blanket. And so that's what I did. Oh, there's so many. I thought I woven in all the ends, but quite clearly I didn't. Don't even know what I'm pulling on. We'll fix it later. Laura Penrose of Penrose Knits came out with this sweet shop blanket. So that's what I did. This is her. This is she. It's a lap blanket. And I knit it holding the yarn double, and then this is just her undyed base. There was one skein in the box, and then I bought an additional 3, but I have some left over that I'm gonna use with all the leftovers, because first, well, I was just lazy. I didn't want to weigh out all the skeins, so I just followed the pattern and kind of guessed it was half. It wasn't quite, so I have, of every color I have some left, but of some more than others, don't know why, and I'm aiming to use those up in random projects, but it is lovely and squishy, and I haven't blocked it yet, so it still smells lovely and not per se sheepy, but it's just, I love it. All the colors go really well together because it's naturally dyed, and usually those colors go pretty well together. And it's just the perfect blanket to have on your lap, on the couch, on the computer. Oh, I see there's some toddler snot on it. And it's just great, and I love it. I do see that there are some things I need to fix. Oh, I lost where it is. Oh, there's another hole here. Yeah, so we need to fix some things. It'll be fine. I really love the blanket. It's really easy to memorize the techniques, but I am really glad that I bought the pattern just because it's the right amount of hand-holdy in this project. I'm just going to walk you through some of the projects that I finished. I think that I left some out. I don't know where they are or what they are, but if they're important, I'll remember them at some other point. I also knit some homey socks, DK weight. They look kind of weird, but they fit quite nicely. Look. Da 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 da. Yeah, they are definitely sisters and not twins because it's a self-striping yarn, and I didn't really feel like, because the white stripe here is the indication that that is half the ball, so I should have been like this, but I just feel like I would never knit socks that are as big as half the ball. I probably should have just pulled out the white, but I didn't because, you know, lazy. So some nice lovely home socks. I still have to block them, but they're still comfy. What else did I knit? Ooh, I knit several hats because I knit one and then I thought I lost it, so I knit another. But turns out I didn't lose it. It was just in a pocket of a coat that I never use. So now I have 2 new hats. This one is knit in, what is it called? Sandness Garn something. It is blue speckled and it has these lovely motifs in it. And it was a really fun knit. I know the pattern and the designer, but it's not coming to mind, but it'll be down here. Everything I mentioned, by the way, will be you can find in the show notes, and I also always try to put in chapters, so if you want to find something again or you're just not interested, you can skip to the next bit if you hover above the what is it called, time bar, I think, I don't know. So yeah, this is really loud. Oh, she's Danish. I'll write it down. It's a really nice hat. I love the yarn. Let's see if I can model it without messing up my hair. It's just it's a nice hat. It's warm. It does its job. Alright. I also knit a Musselburgh hat, which is a very well-known hat pattern. It is basically a tube, and this is knit in some Studio Solas. Are we surprised at this point? No. Studio Solas Merino, I think. And then this, I didn't have quite enough. So this is some Zwartbles, Studio Solas undyed yarn. I still have to block it. I basically have to still block everything. And you just put it inside in, I guess. And it's just nice and big, nice and warm. And I like it a lot. Since we moved, we bought a bakfiets in Dutch. In English, I guess it translates to a cargo bike, but it's one of those monstrosities where you have a cargo bit in the front and you can fit up to 3 children in there, or like a whole bunch of crap if you want to. So I bike to school, or to my work. I work at a school every day that I work, so that's 3 times a week. And since January, I have biked about 1,500 kilometers already, which is nice because I don't have to spend that time in a car. It takes me about the same amount of time, but I just get to bike. And sometimes in the morning oh, my hair fell down. I pass by the Zaanse Schans. I'll put a picture in. It's near Amsterdam. It's a collection. It's an open air museum, and it's a collection of old houses and windmills. And in the morning, it's not that busy there, so I can just like, oh, it's so idyllic. I just bike past all the. Do I know how to speak English? No, but the bike path goes over a dike, and all the pastures have like mist coming up and the sun coming up, and it's just all very nice. And then you pass by all the windmills and old wooden houses, and it beats being in traffic in a car every day of the week, even if it's raining. It's great. I love it. Which is why I need a lot of hats, because it was very cold. It's not anymore, but then I had a lot of leftovers from my Advent blanket, and I wanted to knit a tea cozy for our teapot, because we drink a lot of tea, but with a kid around, you rarely get to finish the whole pot before it gets cold. Even though we have like a double glazed teapot, it still gets quite, well, it gets colder than I can drink it. So first I thought, oh, I'm gonna do a color work thing with cats and stuff. And I did. And I thought I measured correctly, but I absolutely did not. So I had to rip out, or I didn't have to, but I did. I ripped out 10 centimeters. I knit the whole cat. I'll put in a picture. It was very disappointing. And then I was very upset. Ripped it out, started again, and I just went with stripes. This is the tea cozy. It might look a little odd. I'll put a picture in. Yeah, it does its job wonderfully. I haven't blocked it. I haven't woven in the ends. We just started using it, and it just looks adorable. I think that cozy vibes are high on this one. It's really, like, if you're into Harry Potter, it's very Weasley vibey to me. And I just I did some slip stitches that gives it that little texture. I forgot it on this side, as you can see. Who cares? It's a tea cozy, and it does its job wonderfully. And I just started using up colors. The thickness of the stripes is determined by how much yarn I had. And It might also very well serve as a hat. It does, with some nice ears. Keeps your head warm, keeps your tea warm, and it works a dream. So, highly recommend. So, you know, I did do a lot, considering like moving and renovations and kid and work. Another thing I knit is the TinCanKnits Love Note sweater. Here she is. I made the size. I'm going to look this up because I don't know. What size did I make? TinCanKnits app. I made the size L with a cropped body, and I knitted with Olivia and Oliver yarn, hand-dyed yarn in the organic merino fingering base, paired with Gamma Rosa Midnight Soul, which is brushed alpaca. I just followed the pattern completely. Next time I'll size down because I think it's still quite broad, broader than I like it. I made the cropped version with the dropped hem. It's the first time I made a lace pattern like this. Like I knit names. I've knit a different lace sweater. Ew, it's really annoying. The one everybody made. I made it as my last Advent project. But that's not very complicated lace. And I thought this was, because it's like leaves. But it turned out to be okay. Just like anything else in knitting. It's just following instructions and being careful. And it's really nice. Next time I'll make a size M, and I would make it a little bit longer because it's a little too cropped right now. But yeah, so really like this one. I've also been working on getting some stock up again for my Etsy shop because I've decided that it's been enough time for me to revamp it. So I'm knitting up some baby hats. I'm gonna put some ears in so they're like nice and cute. I use these so much for my own little boy. They're made of alpaca and they're just really soft. Most kids do not react to alpaca. And I just had some leftovers. So there's one here. I'm working on another one, which I don't think I'll sell because it's just very scrappy. And then the top is also some random bits of alpaca lying around. Well, not random, like it's good quality wool. But I think I'll just keep this for if a friend of mine has another baby, and then I can just gift the hat. So yeah. Oh, this clip just keeps falling down. Stay up there, please. I think that's all the knitting I did that I can remember anyways. But shall we do Studio Nora? Yes, we started on that. Hold on. So, if you've been here for a longer time, you might know that I used to have, well, I still have, I have an Etsy store and I sell project bags for knitting with hand printed fabrics. And I haven't printed in a long time because renovations and moving and all that jazz. But I had some really lovely fabric left over that I printed with fallen leaves from the park. So I thought it was high time to make some project bags. I have made up 4 so far, 2 big ones and 2 medium ones, and I think they are gorgeous. So maybe if I have time today, I can take pictures of them and then put them on my Etsy again. I believe I have some leftover stock as well. I also have some cards, and yeah, I really like all the things I make and sell there. So I'm just going to show them to you. I think they're gorgeous. So this is the medium one, and I used for every one of these. So if you print, there's obviously fabric. Well, not obviously. There's fabric, there's the leaves, and then you fold that over with another piece of fabric, and then usually I roll it up really tightly. So you always have two sides of a print. And funnily enough, they give really different results. Of course, it's the same shape, but the colors are very different. And I don't know why. I'm not a chemist. There's probably a logical explanation for it that I don't know. But this is the one side, and then on the reverse you have the echo of them, and I just think they're really cool. This is another type of leaf, and I didn't have quite enough width in this fabric, so I just added like I pieced it together, and first I thought that it would not look good, but I think it's okay. Like, it goes with it. I ran out of my labels, so I just made these patches, but I think they're really nice. So I also have two big ones with the Acer print and a reverse, and then the last one. There you go. Yeah. So I'm going to try and get pictures of those quite soon and put them in my Etsy shop. If I can work it out, I'll probably post this video at the same time as I relaunch my Etsy shop, and I'll also post it on Instagram once I do. If you want to buy something or support me there, that would be really lovely, because I haven't done anything with it in over a year since the baby was born, and the baby is definitely not a baby anymore because he's walking and trying to talk and like, yeah. So my Etsy shop is very dusty. If you would like to support me but you don't want to buy anything, that's of course all right. What would really help if you can like favorite my shop or the items. I'll put a link in a description below, but that would be really nice because even though I love all these project bags, I cannot keep them for myself, and it would be very nice to make some money to buy more fabric so I can print more fabric and make new project bags, because this is officially the end of the printed fabrics that I had in stock. So there's 2 more sewing projects, and then we'll talk a bit more about personal stuff if you're interested. Recently I went to a sewing day with my friend, and it was a really lovely sewing day. It was so lovely that everybody forgot to take pictures or video. Like I think there's 1 picture of the whole day, but it was really nice. It was in this old farm building, and lovely lunch. And I made pants beginning to end. The only thing I did at home was pre-wash the fabric and cut out trace the pattern. But I cut out the fabric, I sewed the pants all in one go. They are, hold on. They are these pants. The color doesn't really, it's a bit more vibrant than it shows on a screen. I don't know how to show you, but it's more apple green than it's showing. They are the Chanterelle pants by Liberated. Very relaxed fit. In your waist, they have these nice patch pockets. I added some fun fabric, and then the piece I really like is the bottom, because they have on the front and the back they have these pleats that makes them a bit of a poofy thing. 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 Poofy thing poofy pants, poofy legs. That's what I'm going for. And they're just really nice. They're very comfy. This fabric is a tencel twill that I bought years ago. Years and years. And I really like the fabric, but I like the color, but I didn't know what to do with them. So I just decided to make pants and I like them. Yeah, so I sewed those in one day. Very proud. I even added like a little bias binding to the waistbands in the inside. And overall, I highly recommend the pattern. Really easy, good instructions, just fun to sew. And because they're so they're wide, they're an easy fit. I did have some difficulty with choosing the sizing because my hips have actually lost weight or lost circumference. I lost quite a bit of weight at the beginning of my pregnancy, and then I never really gained that back on my hips anyways, and they've always been quite small. But so now I have the issue that, or not issue, but my hips are smaller, or I think they're the same as my waist. I never had a waist. I don't have a waist now. So choosing a size was quite difficult for me, because if I went by my waist side, I would have to sew like a size 24. And if I went with my hip size, I would have to sew like a size 8. In the end, I went with the size 12, I think. I did add some length because they are drafted for a person that is 164 or something, and I'm 177 in meters. So I did add some length, but otherwise no modifications, and they're great. I love them. If I'm very organized, I'll even film a little bit where I wear them, but no promises. I also have this shirts. It's the Ciele shirt dress by Closet Core Patterns. And actually, this whole shirt has been finished for 2 years at least, except for the hem. And somehow I could never make myself actually hem it. But I did. So now I have a whole new shirt. The only issue is that the bust dart, well, I think I lowered in, like, when I sewed it, I lowered the bust dart a bit. But yeah, the apex of my bust is quite a bit lower than drafted for. And it's also a bit lower than 2 years ago, because pregnancy, breastfeeding, like the whole shebang, like, this is not the same, which is okay. But yeah, so the apex is not quite in the right spot right now. It might change. People don't really notice it until you like point it out, and I don't really go around pointing to my boobs to random strangers. Anyways, so yeah, it's a really nice shirt. It's very boxy. There's this fun little detail in the back that doesn't really come out in this fabric, but I've sewn this shirt. This is the 3rd time I made it, and I really like it. It's very easy to wear, and if I'm very organized, I might film like a bit on, but highly recommend this pattern. It's nice. All right, now let us sit and knit for a bit. I made some notes that I wanted to talk about. So yeah. By the way, how are you? I hope you're well. I haven't filmed in so long that it feels strange to imagine like people watching this. But I hope that you are, and I hope that you are comfy and, enjoying yourself. So as I mentioned several times before in this very chaotic podcast, is that we moved. We moved just outside of Amsterdam, and we actually moved to a house that used to belong to semi-famous people. And these semi-famous people wrote a lot about this house and mostly where it's situated and how much it was not like Amsterdam. So yeah, it is a lovely house. I'm not going to show the front of the house because, don't show where you live to strangers on the internet. I don't know. But we do have a lovely back garden. And once, I think end of May, June, I'll do a little tour through the garden because it's so great having a garden. My mother-in-law bought us a new picnic table. And we have, she also gifted me a raised veggie patch. It's is it 1 square meter, on legs, with climbing trellis thingamabob. And it's just been so fun. We've been eating lettuce from our own garden, and every time my husband cooks, I go maybe this needs some salad. What do you think? Should I go outside and grab some fresh salad leaves for dinner? And it's just so fun. And I've been growing flowers, and there's strawberry plants, and I have this whole section of fruit, shrubs. So we have blueberries and raspberries and tayberries, and some of those will give fruit this year and some won't. But yeah, so it's been lovely. Lots to do in the house though, because there's lots to do. And I thought it would be nice to end today on a little tour through my studio. It is not very tidy because I use it as a space and I have too much stuff. And even after my husband tidied it completely for me, I have been using it. And I am a messy and chaotic person. So I will try not to apologize for the mess. But first, I'll show you a little bit of the making of this room. Organized as I am, I kind of forgot to film the last bit of this podcast. So you can see me here taping up the wall. It used to be a ochre brown thing, and we all know that blue really is my color. So I'm just taping the walls and starting to paint here. I hope you're well. What have you been knitting on? I have missed interacting with you all, so I'm hopeful you're still watching. That you can find me on the YouTube, and I hope that you're knitting or sewing up something nice. Let me know what it is. I have to say, being in this space has been amazing so far. Really happy about it. This is the room as you come in. For Dutch standards and for just having my own room, it's quite big. I'll just take you by section. So let's start at my desk. This is one of those stand-sit desks, but currently it houses some of my plants. And this is a cutting mat. So once the plants go outside, I can use this again as my cutting table. Then we have a comfy chair here that pulls out into a bed for guests staying over. So this is also the guest room. The window. This is my other desk. This desk used to belong to my grandfather's father. And it houses most of my painting supplies right now and my computer, some of my sewing stuff. I have my sewing wall behind it. It's not the best place for it because I mostly sew at my cutting table, but it is nice to have it all spread out like that. Then we have my bookcase with all my sewing books and knitting books. These are all my patterns. And I have these bins, so these are all fluffs like alpaca. These are special sock yarns, special yarns, advent minis, stuff for sweaters and hats, sock yarns, all my cones. These are fabrics for Studio Nora, journals, just general stuff. And then let's see if I can show you this. This chest was made by my grandfather for his boat, and he carved his family symbol emblem on it. And I think it just houses scraps right now. Obviously, going to move this pile. That's my serger and ironing stuff and miscellaneous stuff. Then I have my fabric wall. This cabinet thingy is for Studio Nora stuff. And then here are my fabrics, all my papers, inks, some random bits and bobs, all my plants. My sewing machine is under the table right now. Actually, let's look at it together. What do I have left for Studio Nora? I have all my cards, more cards. I have some of these left. I have actually quite a lot. Some small project bags, a medium one. This is hand dyed with avocado pits. And these ones are with onion skins. This one as well. I don't think I'll sell this one because it's quite faded. And it didn't hold up as well as I thought it would. The other prints that I've made all held up really, really well. Empty. Oh, that's just postage stuff. So yeah, all my fabrics. Yeah. Oh, and then here's my sewing form. There. That's the way she should face. So all in all, really good. I'm just going to change batteries real quick. So yeah, that's my new space. I love it. And sorry I didn't get to film like the whole organizational thing of my dreams, but that's also because just the organization is a bit lacking. And I might get to that in the coming months, or I might not. I hope you're well. What are you knitting on? Are there any cool things that I should be casting on? I'm a bit in a slump what I should be knitting. The one thing I want to cast on are the Magic Socks by the Acorn. What's she called? Hold on. The Awesome Acorn. Just let me check. yeah, so Judy from the Autumn Acorn, she designed a magic sock with a really cool heel construction where you don't really have to do a heel construction. So I want to cast those on. I think that would also be really good for gifts, and you can just knit in a round, which is nice. And I might cast on another love note. I have some more Olivia and Oliver yarn. Disco Dip it's called. It's really fun. One of my local yarn stores recently went out of business because they retired, and they had 50% discount. So I bought a lot of fluff and a lot of yarn because it's really good quality, like lots of Rowan yarns. So, you know, that's good stuff. So I bought that. So I have a lot of fluff to play with. So I think I might cast that on. But yeah, let me know what you've been up to in the last 5 months. And if you're interested in purchasing any of the project bags or maybe a card, I'll link my Etsy down below, and I'm going to try really hard to relaunch that because it's really fun and nice. And it's also very exciting to like wrap up packages and make it all look nice and stuff. So I'm excited to start doing that again. Maybe next time I can film some bits of the garden because it's starting to bloom. Like the dahlias or dahlias are like there's these little thingamabobbies coming alive. So I'm really excited for that. It's the first time that I've had access to an outdoor space since I moved out from my parents. So that's 14 years ago, I think, about. So, yeah. I think I'm just going to end it here. I hope you're well. Let me know what you've been up to. If you have any comments, any thoughts, please share them with me. If you want to find me somewhere else, I'm on Instagram as well, as StudioNora. I don't do a lot on there. I sometimes do some stories, but I'm not very good at posting. And you can also find my personal account there that features mostly my son, basically. And some knitting as well. I'm like, yeah. Okay, I think that's it. I hope to see you soon. I'm going to try and see you soon. And if you like this video, give it a like, all that stuff. And I'll see you next time. Take care.